And welcome back to Out of the Park 23 as the Minnesota Twins. And we are at the day of the draft. So, first things first, it turns out that maybe actually playing your starters in spring training as starters lets your team get off to a better start. We're 41 and 20. We had a massive winning streak right there. We also had this happen. In his last year on the team, he is out for 7 to 8 months with elbow ligament reconstruction surgery. Which obviously means done for the year and probably done for his career. Let's see. Yeah, he still wants this type of deal, which I'm just very much not willing to pay somebody that I can't play more than that I don't have to have somebody sitting for him every 3 days. And while that is down, I believe, from the first one that he wanted when we were looking at this before the injury actually happened, it's just not far enough. Or something like if he was willing to take, a 1 or 2 year deal, then great. But I'm not willing to do much more than that. Unfortunately, he was off to, again, a pretty good start this year, 1.5 WAR. He's playing very well, but that's probably going to be the end of his career here, which is kind of sad to see, but also in a lot of ways is kind of fitting that that's how it ends. Joshua Baez also got hurt on literally the first game of the season. He is back now. He's played 18 games. But the injury was supposed to just be a 8-day injury and then turned into quite a bit more than that, unfortunately. So yeah, where he took him some time before he was actually able to recover. So that definitely has led us to having to move some stuff around in our outfield. Ty Evans was called up for a little bit. He struggled this year. Luckily, though, when we look at our lineup, we've had some people hit the ball very, very well. Mario Atrian, 167 OPS plus. Alex Kirilloff, 156 OPS plus. Is he getting back into the swing of things of where he really can be? Correa surprisingly has a 130 OPS plus. His ratings are coming way down. This is kind of that back end of the contract that we knew was going to be a problem and is very much proving to be that, where the defensive ratings just aren't there. He's not the stud defender he used to be. Zone rating of -3 already. That's a problem. He's made 10 errors already. So we'll kind of have to see what we want to do with him down the stretch. I mean, right now, obviously, he continues to be an everyday starter if he's going to hit this well. But I think if the bat regresses to where my scout thinks that it will, then we'll kind of have to see what we want to do with him these last kind of 2 seasons that he's under contract for. Royce Lewis is kind of doing his defensive thing. Same with Blake Hunt. Continues to be a very good player. I mean, if he's going to hit at this rate, then as always, that contract's incredible. Is the best contract I've signed at this save. Probably will be for the entirety of it. Jose Miranda's playing fairly well. Tyler Ayers is somebody who I'm not super sure what I want to do with right now. He's not hitting super well, but he's still almost worth 2 WAR hitting that poorly because he's been so good defensively. Already put up a 2.0 zone rating over the 52 games. So we'll kind of see what we want to do there. Cabrera's hitting lefties very well. So Luis Lara was our call-up straight from AA, where he was hitting very well. Because he's pretty much just is Buxton, just about. Slightly worse error in arm. He's already put up 1.2 WAR, or 1.2 WAR, 1.2 zone rating in center field for me in 16 games. Is a switch hitter where this is sort of the type of guy that I very much envisioned being my center fielder, kind of post Buxton, is a guy who maybe doesn't hit super well, but if he, has stuff like these first two, I mean, the slugging will probably come down, which is fine. I don't really care about that. But he's only striking out 13% of the time, walks a decent amount. I mean, this is definitely a guy I can envision being our center fielder for a little while. And then Arroyo's been iffy. Rodriguez has not been good, but neither has Evans. So Henry Ramos might get a shot here soon. He's unfortunately also not super good defensively, but considering that Rodriguez isn't my backup center fielder, it's probably fine. The other person to look at here is Lazcano, whose ratings have came down some and is struggling again in high A, though kind of like Lara is very good defensively. So we'll kind of see where they end up going playing in majors, buddy. You need to hit better before we're going to think about that. So that's sort of where the lineup is at. Generally pretty good, no complaints here. Lots of first places, only 5th in home runs, 10th in stolen bases. That doesn't matter if we're first in runs scored. Runs against, you can see we're also first. Starters have been pretty good for the most part. Couple of issues, though. So Corbin Burns, Yendrys Gomez, great. Ron Marquez, doing his thing. Alvarez and Sanchez have been a little more problematic, where you see the 6 ERAs. I mean, the FIP is way lower for Sanchez. So this is definitely something where I'm kind of keeping my eye on it. Because of just how highly my scout has him rated, I'm sort of just letting him fly through this. I mean, you can tell the BABIP here is super, super high. 3.61. So, yeah, we'll kind of see. I mean, the same thing happened to him in AAA last year as well when he made those 12 starts that weren't super great. It was the super high BABIP. So it's something that can be an issue for him, and we'll kind of monitor it. And he's kind of flipped around. Austin Love's gotten a handful of starts. Hasn't been great, but is out of options. So we're kind of keeping him in the bullpen for right now, where he's been, I believe, better out of the bullpen. Yeah, he's got that 4 ERA, but the FIP is super high. So I'm having a lot of concerns with him at this point of what his future is going to be with us. Other than this spot, the bullpen's been pretty good. Max Myers pitched a lot of really good innings. Duran is doing Duran things. And yeah, so Jose Alvarez is also a little bit of a concern to me. Kind of like Sanchez, the FIP is obviously way better. So I'm hopeful then that means that he'll get things back on track as well. He's going into arbitration next year. I think that would have been the case even without the change, because I believe this is his 3rd year. Yeah. So we'll kind of have to make a decision there. But we don't really have a ton of guys. So obviously we have Klaas and Huisman, who are starting to, pick things back up. They both struggled at the beginning of the year. But they might get some shots here as far as starts go, especially if there's any injuries. Boedas has unfortunately really struggled this year after how good he was last year. That's unfortunate. Ortiz has kind of bounced around a little bit. Hasn't made a ton of appearances for us at the major league level, though. Nunez, he's starting to figure stuff out as well. So we've got lots of options for our bullpen still. So that's all pretty good. We're in, again, a pretty good spot, I think, all things considered. Got an 11.5 game lead on the Brewers. Nobody else is even in above 500 for us right now. I want to see the Swamp Dragons make it into the playoffs. I'm trying to will that into existence. The White Sox just seem to choke again. But they were off to a pretty good start and they were matching us for a while. And now they're just on another one of their big slumps. So that'll be interesting. Now let's go into the draft. We'll probably do the first 2 or 3 rounds, I think, here. And let's see who's going to be available for us. Chicago's going to take Nelson Vega. Yeah, this is, I think, a really good player. If you're not fully just reliant on this stuff. Yeah, potentially 4+ pitches. Yeah, that's a very good player. Sexsmith grabs Adrian Gilliam. Yeah, I can't really argue with this. I think this guy's definitely a third baseman. I think this is pretty similar to Ayers in that this is a guy that you move to third because the range isn't great for shortstop, but he does have a pretty good arm. And go to all players. The Dodgers take David Butler. don't remember this. I don't remember seeing a guy with 480s into 70. Wow. I mean, now this is your high school, like, stud at 527. I love high school stats. They're so funny. But yeah, obviously this guy's insane. He might even be like, yeah, I mean, that's pretty decent for coming out of high school in rookie ball. Being a 40 overall, you take that for sure. And at the number 5, they take Victor Lopez. Looks like a legit center fielder with no power, but that's fine. I do wish it was 70 range, but obviously still a very good player. Milwaukee takes this guy, who I don't think I would have taken at 5. There's still plenty of better players, I think, available. Obviously, the home run power is super fun here, but at 21, you'd like him to be a little bit more developed than he currently is. All right, let's go ahead and see who's available for us. So this is the only 80 left. Basically the same type of guy that I took last year. The potential 80 stuff. Starting pitcher. Okay, so I mean, obviously that's somebody that you have to consider. This is really scary. You need this curve. You're super reliant on this curveball actually developing here, I think. So that's probably going to be a no. Okay, this guy's really interesting. Where he's actually a catcher, has a pretty good bat. Walked more than he struck out. I mean, I got in high school, but let's see here. As far as the other Blues, absolutely relying on the bat, so no thank you. No thank you here either. So high control here, so you're not as reliant on the stuff. So, no, I think I'm still liking that first guy the best. 21, fairly developed. Probably not a center fielder, unfortunately. Only 65 range. Does have high work ethic, high intelligence. So, potentially interesting, but I don't like that he's not really a center fielder. So I think the pretty clear choice here is going to be Lupe Chavaria. Where, again, I mean, it's just a fun profile. 75 stamina is nice. He has high intelligence as well. I think this is, let's see, what does my scouting director recommend? Yeah, I agree with this. So we have the money to draft him. So my budget room is something I do have to pay a little bit of attention to here. I can't go too overboard on this. Demand impossible. Wow. That's surprising. So this guy's really set on going to school. Okay. Because he would be kind of, I think, the other potential choice here. But if he's demand impossible as a first round pick, I think that's pretty rough. So let's just go ahead and draft the high-end high school arm. Yeah, he's going to be sitting here, I think, for a while because he's going to be impossible draft. Okay, so this guy also is impossible, which is kind of unfortunate. Just the 70 range is really nice. The bat's not super great, though. Let's see. So, out of even the 60s, he's the only one with that. Let's see. So this guy's high work ethic, but I'm not super interested here. High, 70 infield range. Really good shortstop. So obviously the bat here isn't super great, and I do wish the arm was better. What are your outfield ratings? Okay, they're not that great. So I think you're a potential choice here. Oh, there's a 40 overall player already. Ooh, you're interesting. So 70 outfield range means he can play center. Already fairly developed. Isn't going to strike out a ton. So that's definitely another option. I'm just curious sort by overall here. There's this guy as well. They better outfielder, but a worse hitter for sure. Let's see. You're 70. You're kind of interesting as far as being an actual shortstop. 65 and no arm. That's pretty unfortunate. Okay, so, oh, you actually have 75 infield range, but absolutely zero bat. That's unfortunate that your bat is that bad. I'm probably still gonna try to grab him in a couple rounds, just because that if you do for whatever reason get the bat to turn into something. Oh wow, and 80 infield arm too. 70. Okay. There's some interesting stuff here. So I know this guy's low intelligence, but let's see. Yeah, so you are only a first baseman. It's a little rough to bet on just the bat there. Whitey's impossible to sign. 65 though. So how are you as far as actually as a catcher? You're okay. Certainly not great here. I don't love that option. I wish that this guy's stuff rating was higher, but like it's interesting because he's got 5 potential 55 plus pitches. I'm surprised that gives him only a 45 in stuff, honestly. But I don't know that I want to go high school pitcher here. So I'm kind of thinking I might go ahead and grab this guy, Iohansian. He's low intelligence, which I don't love. But he's hit pretty well in college. He's fairly well developed already. Legit center fielder. So I think that's the route that I want to go here. Well, actually, I'm curious. You recommend this? Oh, that catcher. Okay. This is interesting because obviously he's not a super great catcher. He's got a good bat profile. To the point where like this isn't a guy I would even hate playing at first. But I think, let's see. So this is the lower upside, higher floor play for sure. I think, though, since we are still early, I think going for the higher upside plays are probably still better here. Where because of the fact that this guy could also play first, that makes him potentially interesting. And then this guy didn't want much of anything for money, but is super reliant on the bat. Let's see, what is he? Rookie ball is a 45, 35. So, let me think. First base in my organization. What am I kind of looking at right now? So there's Morlando. Don't really have one. Encarnacion's not that great. Yeah, it's just really this Chandler guy. Okay, he's starting to figure things out a little bit. That's good. Looks like he's kind of a pretty similar spot that I was at with this potential pick. So I think what we're gonna do here, do I go with the already 22-year-old first baseman? Like, I don't love that it says he's only 20 overall right now, but I don't know if I believe that. Let's see. Like, I'm concerned about the home run power developing here because he did only hit 11 home runs in college this year. Because I guess that is about 30-ish home run power. He's switch hitter. Or do I go with the catcher? It was a decent catcher. Does want more money, but that's fine. I'm not super worried about money here. Let's see, what does catcher look like? No, not pitching staff. Catcher looking like down here. So, not a ton there. No. But you don't even have a catcher right now? That's probably not great. No, though, I mean, because really we're looking at Malcolm Moore, Andrew Yu are kind of the catchers, younger catchers that I have sitting around. I think getting more good catchers in my organization could be good. Here, I think we are going to go ahead and go with the catcher. Kind of, I think this is the better balance of upside and floor. All right. So, John Henderson is still available here. That's interesting. He just wants slot. I have a feeling that's who's... Oh, he wants me to take Dante Tolson, who's not actually a center fielder. So that's probably a pass. Okay, Sean Smith is still here. Got lots of 70 outfield range guys. This Danny Escobar guy is interesting. The bat's not super great, but plays a shortstop and center. So that is kind of interesting. But at the same time, like, this is, I think, a pretty good upside play here. Is going him. Like, it's definitely going to be more upside, I think, than anybody else I could take. Tomas Rivera, I don't love the low arm here. But he's a super good shortstop. Who runs well. I don't know. This guy's really interesting to me, too. I think I actually do want the shortstop here. Because, yeah, he's also would be a super, super good second baseman. Even though the bat's not great, I think if you do get the potential... I think there's potential for this guy to actually develop into something really good. So we're going to go ahead and take him. Okay, why is Sean Henderson still here? Oh, because my scout's way higher on him than OSA is. Okay, then I'm going to grab him. That's why he's still here. Okay. Wait, why is the bonus demand... It's 3.6. As opposed to... I don't love how this sometimes gets messy. So, like, I don't want to pay this guy 3.6. Is the thing. What does OSA say about Sean Smith? Okay, my scout's actually higher on him. But, okay. Like, if I could give him... Maybe I'll draft him and see if I can get him to go for closer to that 630, because I don't want to pay him 3.6. And I think this is the spot where I'm willing to just be wrong and get the second pick next year for the potential upside of a guy like this. And then, okay. Yep, and then other people are kind of making some of those calls as well. Then I'm going to go ahead and grab Sean Smith here as well and call it a day for the video. I'll do the rest of the draft off screen. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.